What's up, Sword? What's going on, Sean Sky? Welcome back, man. So, what do you guys think, man? I know Sean Sky's opinion. He just commented it. How fucking amazing does Next look? Pretty amazing, man. Like, shockingly, I am very sort of calm right now. Not much multi-lurking. Okay, well, appreciate it, dude. Got K5 RTO in the chat. What's going on, Colt, man? Sword says I cried. Yeah, I mean, I kind of teared up a little bit too. I think that the emotions are mainly because just the journey, right? I mean, you know, the people were following this game years before it came out. It comes out, right? And you know, it didn't have the momentum behind it that we were hoping for. And a lot of us really liked it. We stuck with it. They stuck with us. Now we're here. And, you know, we've got the player models. We've got multiplayer. We've got, you know, the freighters, the crews that you can have. I mean, just some of the stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the blog spot that was on PlayStation from Sean Murray. But they talked about unlimited base building, where this is something that I speculated on, just because it's a feature that makes sense, right? Not from a bragging standpoint or anything, but it's just a feature that makes sense. The ability to sort of put a base anywhere. You know, why not? Now you can do that in Next. You can literally just set up a base anywhere you want. You can have multiple bases. Your base limit has been greatly extended. You know, your other players can help you build bases. You can build bases underwater. You know, I saw some of that in the trailer. I don't know, dude. Everything just looks so much more high def, so much more like high fidelity, so much more detailed. Just the way that the Geks and stuff are like walking around. I was really concerned because I had a feeling that they were going to drop a trailer. I said this several times on Cobra TV, on my own live streams and other places, that I felt that they were going to do a soft release because of what happened with the original release of the game, and they got in trouble for making certain promises or commitments that weren't exactly there on day one and stuff like that. They are in a position to be highly scrutinized more so than other developers out there. And so, I always said what they're probably going to do is that within a week of the update coming is when they're going to start promoting it. Once they got everything locked in, once all of the framework and everything is set, nothing is going to change. Everything's been play tested, and it's nothing else is going to change about it. Within the last week is when they're really going to heavily advertise it. That's not normally the way that you'd want to do it as a game developer, but for Hello Games, that's that's the right way for them to do it. And I'm just really glad to see how everything's coming together. I literally was nervous about how the player models would move. I was nervous about the base optimization. When you roll up on a base right now, it's a calamity in the game, right? The frame rate dips really hard, and I was kind of concerned about some of that, like the mechanics of how that stuff would work. And I'm glad to report, man, that they took away all my concerns, my worries, and my doubts, about this update. I'm super excited for it. Remus. That's funny, dude. Jean-Luc Frank, welcome back to Hidden Panda Show, dude. He says, hi there, folks. Well, that was exciting, wasn't it? Yep, there was a small tear in the corner, or tear in the corner of my eye. Yeah, dude. I didn't cry, but I had those emotions. I kind of welled up a little bit. It's just I've said this time and time again on my live streams, that Hello Games did the impossible. They took a game that everybody tried to kill and bury, right? Like the Titanic sank, and then they resurrected it and put her back to it's like, it's crazy. I've never heard of a game developer doing that. I mean, with such a controversial release, such a bad release, bad reputation coming out the gate, everybody against you, all the publications, all these different guys shooting them down, and then they come out with this. It's nuts. What's going on, Sandhiran? Pele? What a day. Yes, I agree, man. I agree. Definitely not Remus says, looking back before the Foundation update, the base game fucking sucked. Compared to now, yeah. I mean, I think the base game was a great framework, right? It was a good foundation, for this game. Yeah. Did it have all the features that we were expecting? No. Did they work as well as we were hoping they'd work? No. But like Sean Murray said in the Inside Xbox interview, the first one that he did, he said, that next is the potential that people have always seen in the game. I think that's what this whole thing's been about. They put the game out. It wasn't exactly received as well as they'd hoped, but us, the community, we stuck together and gave them a reason to keep working on it, and now we're here. We didn't give up on them, they didn't give up on us, and we're at next. And yeah, the multiplayer, from what we've been able to see so far, it seems like it's limited to 4 players. But right now, there's no players. You have 16 orbs that can drift around. Now, that's cool. I would rather have 4 fully animated player models and avatars that you can see their exocraft, see their ships. I mean, shit, I'd be okay with 2. Just to be able to hang out with my buddy, and to know that you can have multiple bases, that people can build multiple bases anywhere on a planet. I mean, jeez. Tell you what, people like Boyd Gaming, that guy's gonna be real happy. Guy's a base building machine. It's gonna be crazy to see what Amino Hub do, man, with these new base building tools. It's wild. Whoa. Do you think we'll get another next trailer similar to the other? Yes. Me and HiddenJewAgenda were actually talking about that today, as a matter of fact, that because he goes, did you notice it didn't have that woman on there that kind of breaks down all the features and stuff of the update? And I was like, yeah, but I still think we're going to get that. So, and I do still think that. So like essentially, this is just like a teaser trailer in a way. There's no telling what else they can do, you know, or will do before the update comes. But I do feel confident that the day the update is available, there'll be a video that we can watch, right? That while it's downloading or whatever, they kind of sort of like patch notes, you know, just kind of breaks down what to expect, what we're looking at. I mean, the stuff with the freighter, that's what really has me excited, is all the freighter stuff. Mainly because I think that the freighters currently, in their existing state, are kind of a waste. And they're very expensive, and they don't really do anything. And to know that they're going to be able to do stuff, that there's going to be a point to the freighter, like, are you kidding me? I'm really excited about that. I hope they enhance the servers, because they're going to take a bit of beating on the 24th. I agree, Jean-Luc Frank. It's going to bring a lot of people back, dude. I mean, you know, there's going to be a lot of newcomers that are coming in. But you know what? I was talking about this in one of the aminos that I'm in. But basically, I almost want to create a group of just like OG No Man's Sky players. Like, yeah, it's cool that new people are coming, but like, fuck them, right? Like, they're fickle. You know what I'm saying? Like, they tried the game, they put it down, and they're going to come back when it's hot and fresh. But you know, that's just me being cynical. Oh snaps, we got the Traveler in the chat. Epic trailer, it was amazing. I agree, dude. By the way, that MZK video, obviously the Traveler, I'm a big MZK fan. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but I gotta tell you, man, that video made me laugh so fucking hard, dude. Just the sheer amount of times you said "and today." So whenever MZK was streaming earlier, he was live streaming, you know, the Waking Titan trailer drop thing today. I was in the chat with him. I asked him if he saw it, what he thought about it. Pretty funny, dude. Like, you know, I don't know if you meant what you said or not. I don't give a shit either way. It's just hilarious. You know, we can't be too sensitive out there. Andy Krychek says, so much hype, Panda. Need to get some sit-down selfies. Bro, Andy Krychek, now I know you saw that. That looked like some of the concept art, right, for No Man's Sky. Dude, I took a screen grab of that, saved it to my phone, man, where in the trailer the dude's sitting on the front of the ship, just like in the you know, in the concept art, just chilling, hanging out. And then there's if you go to the blog spot on PS4, it talks about or it shows an image of just a guy sitting down in the grass with his friends walking around, just you know, taking in the scenery. It's fucking hot shit, man. I love that. Now, when I mentioned the blog spot, does anybody know what I'm talking about? And I think it's officially on the No Man's Sky website now, too, that kind of breaks down sort of the main features that they're highlighting currently. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to go ahead and just drop the link in the chat anyway. Just so that you can check it out. I wonder what the No is going to say about next. I don't give a fuck what the No are going to say about next, and I apologize for the language, because I'm sure there's young people that watch my channel, and I really got to watch my mouth. But I hate the No. Can't stand it. They're just unfair. You know, video games are subjective. If you don't like it, that's fine. I don't care if you don't like it. You know, but when you're making a lot of exaggerated claims, false claims, the game's dead, only 5 people play it, you know, stuff like that, I don't have time for you. You know, I mean, I'm not being snowflakey about it. They have the right to do what they do, but it's just it's sensationalist, you know what I'm saying, or however the hell you pronounce that word. But it's like, you know, media outlets. It's just whatever gets the clicks, whatever gets the, you know, whatever gets the views. Just you know, obviously more than 5 people play the game. There's probably several, you know, tens of thousands at the least of people that play the game. Otherwise, they wouldn't spend, you know, thousands of hours and, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars in overtime and salary pay and, you know, hiring new employees and all this other kind of stuff that they're having to do to continue to work on this game. I mean, that's just ridiculous. You know, the no kind of aggravate me sometimes. They're just, you know, it's just like if you're gonna cover video games and video game news, at least just try to be as, like, I don't know, like, they're biased, I guess is what I'm saying. I mean, okay, the game costs $60. You want to make the argument that you've been playing a beta the whole time or whatever, or an alpha or whatever, I don't know the terminology, then fine. You know, you can say that. Or, you know, you paid $60 for what you believe is an early access title, okay, that's fair. You know, but to make the claim that, like, 5 people play the game, like, get out of here with that nonsense. You know? For me, the $60 was worth it, right? Like, when you buy this game. Like, I've been playing it for 2 years. I have, you know, like, so many hours in this game, more hours than any game I've ever played in my life. You know what I mean? 3 major updates, 20-something patches, and then now this next update, like, plus an ARG, and the best community and video gaming right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I got all that for $60. It's a good investment if you ask me. The no sucks. Jacob Green Day Heart 1, what's going on? Always a pleasure to hear the dulcet tones of Hidden Panda. I don't know what that means. My vocab ain't big enough, but thanks for dropping the chat. If it's bad, you know, right on. That's, you know, you're allowed to do that. If it's good, thank you. Somebody want to tell me what dulcet means? Jacob Green Day Heart 1 says, I'm very excited about the base building and to put it anywhere on the planet. Dude, you're telling me. Like I was talking with a buddy today already about, like, you know, setting up a 4-person squad, sort of, and like, you know, somebody put part of a base on a hill, run it down, another part that's on the beachhead, another part that goes into the water, another part that goes over the water. I mean, there's so many things that you can do, and you can make unlimited. You can make as many as you want. You can have multiple bases, and they appear for everybody, and people can help you build them. You know, like that is awesome. I've been wanting that for a while, truth be told. I always wondered, you know, how nice it would be in No Man's Sky to have neighbors. Jean-Luc Frank says, thought I saw 5-player models in one part. Maybe squads are limited to 4, but players can see multiple squads. Maybe still 16 players per instance. It's possible. I mean, at this point, you know, we don't really know, and I'm all for speculation because that is a reasonable sort of theory. I think it's more likely, however, that you're just sort of seeing NPCs running around, because at least it makes things feel more alive, right? When you've got NPCs that are just kind of like hanging out and doing stuff. Also, I hope that you get to pick your race. So, like, if you want to be a Korvax, Gek, or Viking, you can, or you can be a traveler or human or, you know, whatever. Like, I hope there's like different species that you could pick. That'd be pretty neat. But if you are just the traveler, that's cool too. It would seem to me that, like, in the event that you need to complete a mission that requires more than one person, and you don't have a full squad, that they'll just replace that with NPCs, sort of like how Ghost Recon Wildlands works, for example. When you don't have anybody in with you, you've got sort of like a computer squad, and then when somebody co-op, you know, they drop out. At least that's how I hope it would work. I'm okay with 4. I don't need too much. You know, 4 is plenty for co-op. I'm not a big PvP guy. If they have it, I'm for it. You know, I'll run around and start killing some people. But I'm more of a chill, relaxed co-op type dude. What's going on, Plo617? Good to see you back. It seemed like they purposely hid the creatures for this trailer. Perhaps that means they probably have a big upgrade. I would imagine so. Somebody also said that one of the creatures from that were data mined in earlier iterations of the game, they saw that alien in the game, and the players were attacking it or something like that. So that's pretty cool. That hopefully the AI, right, for the animals gets better, because right now they sort of have these predetermined walk tracks, and maybe they can have more complex patrol patterns and things like that. I think would be cool. Jay Laugh says, I'm hoping we'll be able to share bases. I think so, man. I think so. I want to see more of a player-driven economy. So, like, if you're like a Boyd Gaming type player and you build these crazy bases, if somebody like wants to move into that, maybe they can trade you some units for it, you know? That'd be really cool. Sandiran says, on one of Lplay's videos, I said that the next update might be bigger than E3. It looks like that aged well. Yeah, yeah. I never liked the E3 comparison ever, because the game started looking better than the E3 version of the game, in my opinion, when Pathfinder dropped. When we started getting the new sort of like terrain renderings and the new like, what do you call them, textures and stuff like that with Pathfinder, and then the cars and having, you know, being able to build bases and own freighters and have multiple ships. You know, none of that stuff was specifically mentioned in any of the E3 stuff. And the game in that, you know, in that vein, in terms of graphical quality, started to look better to me. A lot of people probably would disagree with me on that. I like the art style of E3, and it looks like the E3 art style is making a return, but with the updated Atlas Rises graphics, and already for, well, and actually even more enhanced. It talked about in 4K and HDR support, but even more enhanced graphics and terrain than what we have in Atlas Rises. So they're taking Atlas Rises and giving it a big boost, and then, you know, obviously they're taking back some of that E3 art style, which I'm glad to see. But you know, I think Cobra agrees with me on that as well. Like I believe for a long time now that the game already, like, graphically looked better than, you know, what we saw at E3. And then to see the water, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but like the water now is it just looks more water-like. I don't know how to say it. It looks almost like you can have like a beach. It looks like a beach. Like there's sand leading up to the water. The water kind of like moves and ripples a little bit differently. It looked a little more natural to me. Plants and everything looked better, bright, poppy, vivid colors. You know, really getting, you know, a kick out of that stuff. Infinite Gamer says, yo, Panda, how are you doing on this amazing day? I can't stay long in the middle of my stream. Just wanted to pop in and drop a like because you deserve it. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. For those that don't know, I'm a pretty big Infinite Gamer fan. I'm in his Discord. I'm subbed to his channel. I watch his live streams. Super cool dude. It's from the UK. If you're not subbed to Infinite Gamer, I'd recommend, you know, it's free. Won't hurt you. I recommend clicking his little head there and dropping a sub and checking out his content. It's good stuff. You will not be disappointed. Just 1 second here. I'm going to pull up some portal coordinates. Hopefully it shows up for me. I know there's been issues. But I'm going to attempt to go to one of Sword's farms. I'm hunting down an S-Class freighter, and right now Sword's farms is the best way to make money in No Man's Sky, so as far as I'm concerned. see how this works out for us. Dulcet equals soft, smooth, and relaxing, I think. Well, goddamn, Jacob Green Day Heart 1. If that is really what that means, man, I thank you. I don't think that about my own voice, but I appreciate that someone does. Oh, snaps, we got Manuel in the chat. Long time no see. Please, somebody that got early game disc, post some footage. Right? I'm sure they could get in a lot of trouble for that, but that'd be super dope. I agree. Sanderin says, Warframe also only allows 4 players. Yeah, and you know what? If you're not playing Warframe right now, I know that the game wasn't exactly like all that exciting when it first came out. But these recent last couple of updates that they've done, it is like a different game. And it's free to play, dude. So my suggestion is get out there and give some of that a try. Warframe is pretty cool. So if you can't stand to play the current version of No Man's Sky because you just witnessed Next, you know that's how you know, my channel partner Hidden. That's kind of what he's going through right now. He can't touch No Man's Sky. He just the hype surrounding Next, and then seeing the trailer today, he doesn't want to come back until he's coming back to that. You know, I like the game that came out, so I can always play it in any version. I made the critical mistake just now, and I just realized it, of not grabbing my hauler. Damn it. So now I gotta go back. Because I certainly do not have the inventory slots right now. Bogus. But at least I know that the base turned up, so that's cool. Infinite says, I think it will only be 16 in an instance because it already is and no point in changing it. Yeah, but you got to remember, so if you notice on the inside Xbox thing, I meant to make a video on this actually, because I already made one video about the inside Xbox thing, but I wanted to touch on this as well. If you break down what was mentioned in those 11 features, because Sean Murray goes, oh, well, the game has changed hundreds of ways, but 505 is that it changed or whatever. And look at that. Welcome, Traveler. Must be talking about Traveler in the chat. If Traveler's still there. But yeah, they didn't talk about, as far as I remember anyway, they didn't talk about multiplayer that we already have. They didn't talk about the player orbs. They didn't talk about any of that. Because I think that they don't want to set the expectation that there's going to be 16 players. Right now with the orbs, you're not occupying really any space. There's no animation. They don't have to... The CPU doesn't, or the graphics engine or whatever's in there, I don't know how this part works, but I would imagine that it doesn't have to account for you moving right now, right? It doesn't need to render that in any way. You're just a ball, okay? And so for 16 players, that might be easy. But maybe as they play test the game, they realize that that's just far too many and that 4 they can manage. You know? Now that's wild speculation. But that would just be my guess, that they've limited it to 4. And that doesn't mean that that's where it's always going to stay. But I would say, let's expect 4. Let's hope for 16. You know, if we can have 16 players but only 4 in a squad, I'm cool with that too. You know? Because... I don't know, it just, right now we don't have a player model. We can't see each other. So any ratio is fine by me, because it's entirely new. And we can't do it right now. You know? But, that being said, I think it would be really cool to Infinite's point that, we can only be in sets of 4 from a co-op standpoint, but you can have on a single planet perhaps 4 sets of 4, or some shit. I mean, that would be cool. But if it is just 4, I'm putting it out there right now that I'm okay with 4. I want to see leaked footage. Yeah, exactly. Johnny B in the chat. There we go. Johnny B brings the good juju. I'm just saying that. Last time he was in the chat, or time before last anyway, got myself a nice little squid. That's actually, some of these exotic ships are what I'm really excited to see in next, because they move. They're like animated. How the wings like fold up on some of them, and stuff like that. Like, dude, that's gonna be sick. Aw, that's gonna be sick in No Man's Sky next. Is when you jump in a squid and you actually see the thing extend and spin, or you actually see in air, some of the exotics like fins open up or the wings come out or whatever. I like the game as a first-person experience because it's more immersive that way. But when next drops, I'll probably spend quite a bit of time playing it in third person, just because for nearly 2 years we haven't seen a player model. We don't know what we look like, and we're going to get to determine that in next. We're going to get to customize our characters. That is really exciting, and I want to see it, and I want to see other people's, and I want to see my ship flying from an external view, and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about that. All right, hopefully Swords Farm shows back up for me again. Hold up, guys. We got Soroka in the chat. What's going on, Soroka? Long time no see. Welcome back to the show, man. Thanks for being in the chat. Are you excited about next, Soroka? Because I am. Share Production says, I saw the new update for No Man's Sky. Like, you actually saw the update for No Man's Sky, or just the trailer? Got M Kirby 101 in the chat, says, hey Panda, what's going on, man? Welcome to the chat. The water looked more like E3 water. I agree, Jean-Luc. I agree 100%. Do I see comm balls? No comm balls. How'd I know that was going to happen? The servers have been having issues while they're working on No Man's Sky Next, like multiplayer or whatever. So sometimes when another player builds a base, sometimes it won't show up, and you've got to sort of leave and kind of reload what is essentially a level at the end of the day, and then hope that it appears. We got Radio Caravan in the chat, says, hey Panda, what's going on? Radio Caravan says, I love that trailer. It was a cover version of that first trailer. Pretty much, man. Yeah, that's a good observation of that for sure. Alright, let's try it. Let's go back through it. Let's do this. Load for me. Radio Caravan says, anyone else notice there was no plutonium crystals anywhere? They better not be rare. That's all I can say. Because you sure need a crap load of it to fly. I've been wondering if multiplayer economics are going to make some resources actually rare or hidden. I think so. I also think that potentially This is speculation, you know, but I would imagine, or at least I would hope that they would do this. There we go, combo. I would hope that they would do this, but I want to see, like, I'm tired of every time I take off, it uses 20% of my fuel. I'm tired of having to craft a warp cell every time. I'm a multi-millionaire tens of times over in this game. You know, I'm not on Swords level. I haven't hit $1 billion yet. But why can't I just buy better technology for my launch thrusters so that they don't require as much fuel? Or why can't I just buy a warp cell, like 10 of them? Why not? You got a giant space station, nothing for me to buy there, you know? Am I being critical of the game? Yeah, it's still my favorite game ever, so don't be offended by, you know, sometimes I can be a little rough on certain features, but at the end of the day, it's still my favorite game ever made, so. Oh my god, we got Gaming Line in the chat. Gaming Line, you know I have to say it every time, so don't be embarrassed, bud, because I always got to shout you out. But Gaming Live was one of the first subscribers ever to the Hidden Panda Show. He was also my first mod ever on the Hidden Panda Show. So been a major supporter of the channel from the get-go, still here today. So thank you for jumping in the chat, Gaming Line. I know you're busy with school and all kinds of other stuff. And yeah, man. You excited for next? I know you are. But let us know in the chat, Gaming Line, what you're most excited about with what you saw today, and what you're most excited and hopeful to see on launch day. Oh snaps! We got Just Jared in the chat. Let's crack a like and Just Jared. Thank you for jumping in my chat, bud. Daniel Hipley in the house says, "I don't want to wait. I want No Man's Sky next now." Actually, now that we've seen the trailer, waiting for me is much easier. I'm okay with waiting now. It doesn't seem so far away for some reason. So, you know, I'm good. I'm good at the moment. One of the cool things about Sword's base builds, by the way, is he always puts trade terminals so that as you're sort of farming and stuff like that, you can just sell right here. You know, there's no wait, so you can immediately just sell. All right, let's get that money. So with the trade-in, so here I'll say it. So with my freighter, I've got an A-class freighter, 33 slots. Okay, the trade-in price is probably 200 million on it. You know, something like that. Low 200 million, high 100 millions. And I'm looking for an S-class. So between my trade-in, I'm probably going to need about another 100 million, just to be safe, to buy that S-class freighter and still have some money left over. And hopefully before next drops, I can get that to $1 billion, which I know I can do if I try real hard. And I grabbed the wrong hauler. God damn it, Matt, you're fucking up. Okay. A lot more combos here than I remember. On the last one, that's irritating. The Traveler, I still have to watch your video on me. I was telling MZK, I was like, dude, I'm afraid that I'm afraid you might make one of me. So, but whatever, you know, you're having fun. It's your opinion, right? I had a good laugh. You know, we shouldn't take ourselves too seriously. Oh, Apparently the Traveler loves my channel, so I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Dude, just Jared, if you're still there, you know, by the way, I really, 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 I'm not joking, like the last video that you did, your fashion episode, repping some of those No Man's Sky tees, and I'm not joking when I say I literally laughed. You looked like you were having such a good time. It looked so fun. Like it was fun for you to make and edit that video, and you're hilarious. I would not have taken you for a hilarious guy normally, but it definitely came through in that last video. I want to see like more stuff like that. I love that type of stuff from you, just Jared. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Not trying to be too corny, but you get it. I need a couple more recipes actually, because I can wham out some cryogenic chambers and make some serious cash doing that, and I need to get on that. All right, let's take a look here. Circuit boards. What do I need again? I need heat capacitor and polyfiber. Let's just go ahead and make that polyfiber. What's this cryo pump? What can I ditch right now? There's some stuff I don't like. All that mordite, like that's just insane. I don't even know why I have that. What was that for? Oh, acid. I think that uses mordite. Yeah. I'm gonna dump that. I'm gonna dump all that mordite. Where's that? All right, so Gaming Lime says, I was a little scared about how they would do third person, but I really like the angle they give. It gives a more vast feeling. Yeah, you know, part of that could be part of that could just be the sensation of seeing your traveler for the. So, I wish I had the camera on right now so you could see my facial expressions. I'm so excited to talk about this. I have talked about this so much, and then to actually see it sort of illustrated, like my point being illustrated. I've always said for a long time that we're just a gun floating, right? We don't know what size our player is in relation to the environment around us. So bushes and trees and all that stuff sometimes seem small because we don't know how big or small we are. We're just going off of this sort of weird perspective, right? Because we're in first person with no real sense of size. Some people say I feel like I'm really short, I feel like a geck walking around. I feel like I'm really short. Whereas I had the opposite experience. I feel like I'm kind of big, you know? And then I look at the cockpit of my ship, or I look at the cockpit of the exocraft, and I realize, like I've got to fit in there, right? So they're resetting the universe. They're sort of redoing all the graphics, redoing terrain, redoing textures, and they have to scale. So when you're looking at that video, you're getting I forgot how to play for a second. You're getting a sense of scale that you didn't have before, right? So I think that that's a big part of it, is that you're getting this sense of scale that didn't exist before. So, you know, Mordite's really not worth that much. I'm just going to drop this. I'm not going to try to sit there and do all that. I need to make space for all the other stuff I'm about to do. So I think that the sense of being vast or open has more to do with the fact that, like, now you see your character, so now you see how big the world is around you. I'm probably going to still want to play the game mainly in first person mode because I feel like it's more immersive. But because we've been 2 years without a player model, I'm probably going to play pretty hard for the first couple of weeks in third person, like almost exclusively. I'm curious to see if we get more varied cockpits and better cockpits. You notice they didn't show first-person view at all in that trailer. Maybe our visor HUD looks different. Maybe our cockpits are way different. If you notice some of the freighters in the video, they had landing pads on the outside, not just on the inside. You know? Here. I bought a Rasa Mama. Brought a Rasa Mama forward from 1.0 on Sunday. Really hope I can pull it forward in the next. It's a piece of crap, but I love it. Yeah? I'm not a big fan of the Rasa Mamas. They're kind of, to me, I don't like the way that they look, to be honest. So Gaming Lime says, okay, base building looks to be expanded on vastly. Oh, vastly is not even the word. Yeah. I mean, Kirby says, not sure if you remember me, but my username used to be Matthew Gooding. I'm a pretty long time sub. I remember Matthew Gooding. I wasn't sure if you were the Kirby from My Amino or not, so I'm glad you cleared that up, because I do remember Matthew Gooding, and I do remember that you've been there for a long time. I think you might have been my 11th or 12th subscriber, actually, and that was back in August, I want to say. Could be wrong about that. But for those that haven't seen it yet, I'm gonna find this for you, because it's just something that you got to see, and I'm gonna put it in chat. So give me 1 second. I apologize, y'all. All right. So if you haven't already checked out this link that I'm posting, please check that link out. And I'll just kind of go ahead while I'm live here, just kind of break down what's in it. But basically, it talks about the different features, right? So we got multiplayer. There's sort of like, I guess, patch notes in a way from Sean Murray himself. But it says, team up in a small team of friends, explore the universe together, or be joined by random travelers. It talks about you can help friends stay alive. We already know that. Tiny shelters or complex colonies. We already know that. Fight as a pirate, exocraft races. Now, character customization allows you to personalize your appearance. So, obviously, that's, I'm sure everybody expected that. To have that confirmed, though, is pretty nice that we do get to customize our character model here. Visual overhaul. This gets me really excited. So it says the game is fully playable in third person or first person, both on foot and in ship. Planetary rings and improved space visuals make space more beautiful than ever. Dramatically improved planetary terrain generation, ground textures, water and clouds bring the environment to life. Significantly more detail added to ships, NPCs, and buildings. Then it talks about the unlimited base building. Bases can now be built anywhere on any planet. Dramatically increased base building complexity and size limits. Hundreds of new base parts, not like a few new or 100 new, hundreds of new base parts, so that's going to be sick. And you can own multiple bases. And then my favorite bit for the dogfighting lovers out there is command freighters. Assemble and upgrade a fleet of frigates and command them from the bridge of your starfighter. Send your fleet out into the universe or deploy them to help you as you explore a specific system. Improved freighter base building allows a truly custom capital ship, and invite your friends aboard to take on challenging multiplayer missions from the Galactic Commission station on your bridge. And what do we know, about what do we know about Hello Games and when they release these updates? They never tell us everything, right? Like with Atlas Rises, we did not, and even Pathfinder, we did not speculate enough. After we saw how big of an update Foundation was, it would have been easy to over-speculate, right? But we didn't. Pathfinder came out, we thought we were getting one buggy, we ended up getting two buggies. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they always give us more than we bargained for, And I have a feeling this next update will be no different, because Sean Murray talked about surprises. So on the No Man's Sky website, under where he put the teaser trailer for Next and was talking about Next, he said we've been working really hard and all this other kind of stuff, and then he said, and we have a few surprises, and or something similar to that. So that gets me really excited as well, because I know that we haven't been shown everything yet, and that's really exciting also. Commander Lost Jayhawk says, I'm not going to lie, I went from 6 to midnight during that trailer. Our patience will be rewarded next week. Hashtag next week. I know you guys aren't going to hashtag it, but I just, anybody that knows me like in real life, I just say that shit sometimes. I'd be like, hashtag dumb, right? You don't have to hashtag it if I say hashtag. But, yeah, no, that's me too. It's like when I knew the trailer was going to drop today. Like, I didn't want to get my hopes up, but I just knew it was going to happen. And the moment that the thing came up, dude, like, I literally had to make sure that, like, there was nothing, like, fragile near me, so that, like, if I stood up and turned around, I wouldn't, like, swipe everything down. So, yeah, I definitely can relate on the 6 to midnight joke. I'm fucking stoked. Yeah, me too, dude. John Hall in the chat. What's up, John Hall? Welcome back. Says, what's up, y'all? Commander Lost Jayhawk, is anyone planning on starting a new character, or will you guys play an existing save? I'll probably start up a new save just to have that, like, experience of, because I'm sure the intro is going to be the same, right? You wake up next to your craft starship. I'd like to re-experience that in third person, but I'll probably do it in creative. Because I have too much, my progress, you know, is too much in my current save. Just tuned in, haven't heard anything about starship design, customization, 3D destroyer. I agree. I think that we'll probably get to do that, but they didn't really talk about that. We didn't see any first-person stuff, which means we saw no cockpits. We didn't see the inside, I don't believe, of any freighters or space stations. And I think those are going to be the surprises. I think that those have sort of been revamped and reimagined. Total speculation. But the fact that we haven't seen that, you know, because they always hold back some stuff. I also think that they've changed the way that Pulse Drive works. At least I hope that in Pulse Drive we can steer. I hope they change the warp animation. I will throw my TV at the screen. I mean, I will throw my controller at the TV screen if they have not changed the warp animation. That in my book, that just has to go. It doesn't look good to me. It shows a lack of finesse. There are worse games that pull that effect much better than No Man's Sky. It's just such a simple thing to change, and I hope that they do. There's going to be a reset again, I'm assuming. Yes, Jayhawk, there will be. Now, one thing they've done that's different than the way that they have handled things before in the past is that they were asking for, Hello Games directly were asking for people to submit their save files so that they could sort of boot up in your version of the game and play with next features enabled, to make sure that when you update, that it doesn't crash anything for you, that it doesn't, because, you know, when Atlas Rises updated, a lot of people had to restart their games. A lot of people lost their bases or were forced to move, and things like that. People's bases ended up underground. So I think that they want to take more of a front seat role with moving forward. And I think it's not the last time that we see them do this, that they're going to take other players, you know, that and utilize their game save to basically test, you know, new update features to make sure that they're not going to, you know, fuck the game up. So. Like a bunch of M's. Johnny B says, multiple freighters, multiple bases, dramatically increased size. Sounds like it will take me a while to max things out on my next start. Yeah, man, you know, I'm telling you, these updates are so big every time that it's like you're getting a new game every time that an update drops. That's literally what it feels like to me. It's like every time I'm getting a new game. You know, anybody that says that No Man's Sky wasn't worth the $60 they paid, they're full of shit. I feel like I've gotten more than I bargained for. You know what I mean? But John Lou says is going to be starting a new save. There's been patches because they're probably No, I agree. Oh snap! How I get them my save. It might be too late. There was a thing that came up in Reddit where basically they had instructions on how to send it to Zendesk. So if you play on PS4, it was kind of convoluted because the save file was too big to attach to Zendesk. So you had to copy it to a USB drive and then you had to zip it. Which I'm playing on PS4 Pro. I don't know if that matters, but my save file was Zendesk only takes 20 kilobits and or kilobytes or whatever. My save file was like 38, so I had to upload it to Google Drive and then send them the Google Drive link. But I just thought it was cool that they're going that far as to actually boot up as you. You know, so for a lot of people out there, we'll never know, whose save files they actually opened up and tested. But a lot of people out there, you've had Sean Murray or somebody else from Hello Games boot up as you and play the game with next features. So pretty cool to think about. We got Daniel Rodbar in the chat. So the trailer shows no creatures. Are they hiding something from us? I don't think they're hiding it. I think there was one creature that they kind of snuck in there. I don't think they're hiding anything. I think it's a little different than that. I think that what they're doing actually is they talked about surprising us. So if you've noticed in all the other major updates, they never show us everything, and this is no different. So I think that when we boot up the game, if they showed us everything in the trailer, then we're not surprised by anything. So I think that they held back actually quite a lot. You know, so when the update hits, you're going to be like, oh damn, I wasn't expecting that, or I didn't think that was going to happen, or I mean, you get where I'm going with that. So there's a lot more that we'll probably never get to see until next drops, and that's kind of clever marketing if you ask me, because they're kind of under promising features, and then they're going to over deliver on the content. You know. It's like sales number one, sales 101. It was you under promise, over deliver, you know. For those that have Twitch also, I might be pulling a late night Twitch stream tonight, just for people that follow me on Twitch, that I get a chance to talk to them about what they thought about next and stuff like that. And I want to do it tonight before everybody gets burned out, because I feel like by tomorrow morning we're going to be content burned out, you know what I mean? Or maybe not. Maybe we'll be talking about this right up until the drop. We'll see. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to feel burned out at any point during any of this. Did not mean to drop that in my exosuit. Yeah, PS4 was kind of a crazy way of doing it, 3D. But yeah. John Hall says, hey Panda, if you're grinding units, feel free to get 20 circuit boards for my normal race base on Rainbow Sherbert. Hey John Hall, why don't you drop that right here in the chat, dude? I'm gonna go there right now. and everybody will get an opportunity to see your base. Is it really far from the portal? Let's do this. .3D, yeah, I think that was intentional. So 3D Destroyer, for those that haven't read it yet, he says, or they say, my only fear is that the trailer is like the original trailer and the update will underdeliver. I hope not, but it's possible considering the release. You know, that is a lot of people's fear, but you've got the jump on everybody in that, you know, you understand it's a possibility, but you haven't allowed it to become an expectation. I think that they've done a really good job over the last nearly 2 years of sort of finding ways to make up for the release. Not that they did anything wrong, in my opinion, per se, but did we get everything that we thought we were getting that Sean Murray mentioned in all those different interviews and all that? Not right away. We have it now, though, don't we? You know, we held their feet to the fire, but we also gave them a chance, and they stuck by us. So I would say, you know, have full faith that you're going to get, you know, the game that they haven't promised you anything. That's the thing. But just know that trailer that you saw, because they said they've been play testing for like 6 months. What you saw, that was in game. That wasn't pre-rendered. That was them playing with like no HUD on. If you paid close attention when the ship was you know, low flight mechanics, right? That guy was like, you know, 20 feet above the ground basically. He was knocking over palm trees. I mean, that dude was more worried about getting the camera angle right, whoever was playing, and making it look all cool than actually flying, because the dude was knocking trees and shit down. I mean, that was straight out of the game. Like that, what you saw is what you're gonna see when that drops. That wasn't like, you know, game engine footage or some crap like that. Like I felt like they turned the HUD off and then just recorded gameplay. That's what it felt like to me. You know? So I wouldn't worry too much, dude. In all honesty. Do I really gotta spend these resources right now? Jeez. It's 7 minutes by Nomad? Perfect, dude. It's on the Noob Nation Discord? Okay. Like under what tab? I don't use Discord all that much. I'm more of an Amino guy, because with Amino you can like wiki things, so I can sort of create different like databases. Discord's a little, you know. Let me know where in the Noob Nation Discord I can find it, and I'll go pull that up right now and check it out. Why can't I harvest these? There we go. This is like the last bit of Star Bramble. I hate harvesting Star Bramble because it's only 25 units of Star Bramble every time you harvest one. So if you need 100, you got to harvest 4 plants, and it's just super tedious. I feel like farming is going to be more grindy in the next update, but there's going to be a lot more things that you can do with farming, so it'll keep it interesting. Commander Jayhawk says, I think they are trying to keep expectations realistic. They're probably terrified of overdoing it. I agree. And if you notice, like, Sean Murray was having like an emotional breakdown on Twitter today. I mean, he was so sentimental about everything. And you got to feel for the guy. He finally can come out. He finally can talk to people. He finally can share stuff on Twitter. He finally can release trailers and, be proud of his creation, right? He's been hiding for nearly 2 years. It's just really good to see. I don't know. But yeah, dude, it's wild, It's like, not to sound like super corny or anything, but I just missed him, All the stuff pre-release, the interviews that he did. He seems like a really cool guy. He just sucks at doing interviews, right? So. He's kind of awkward or shy or whatever, but it's just good seeing Sean Murray out there again, talking about something that he really cares about. Boom. Time to get out of here. I still think the game we have now is so pretty. John Hall, I'm going to be checking out your base, so as soon as I go back through this portal, I'm going to type in your portal address, and boom. We'll see what that's about. What am I going to be getting again? Circuit boards or liquid glass? What type of farm is it? Linkus Helianus, yes. I have every slot you can have on the exosuit. Got all of these. I got all of these, which I need to actually fill these up with tech. I'm slacking on that. And then I got all of these. And then I've got two 48 slot haulers. Unfortunately, they're not max slot, but or they're not S class. But I've got two 48 max slots. So I got boxes for days. I made myself laugh with that one. Pre-order day one player loved it because I didn't get swept up too much in the hype. Yeah, man, I kind of live by the motto, like, don't let speculation become expectation, and like temper your expectations, right? I see movie trailers all the time that are really exciting. That doesn't mean the movie is going to be good, And then I've seen the opposite, like Blockers with John Cena. It's a funny movie. It's probably one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. The trailer doesn't make it seem that way. The trailer kind of sucks. So it can go the other way too. Uh-oh. McDC, top of the world right here. Oh, yeah. Shout out to McDC. In all actuality, that probably is the highest comm ball on this planet, too. At the highest peak. Nope, not proud of that jump. I'm going back. Not proud of that jump. Gotta leave on a good note. There we go. Cover some ground with that jetpack data, baby. He has an awkward charm. Yeah, he definitely does. Daniel Rodbar says, damn, the update completely removed the pop-in. Everything is beautifully pre-rendered. The game is full with new assets for planet generation. Seems that way, doesn't it? Like, if it looks as good as that trailer, God, I mean, I'd be overjoyed. 3D says, yeah, I do bong rips with Sean Murray. Seems like a good dude. Hell yeah. Sometimes when I go back and I watch old footage of Sean Murray, I just get the feeling that he does do bong rips. That he's just like a chill dude. Like when he's in his office and everybody else is like grinding out like code, he's like in there just like taking bong hits, and he's like, God, I can't wait for next week. John Hall says it's a max single harvest circuit board farm that will give you 20 circuit boards. It's 3 frost crystals short. You son of a bitch. You're lucky I got some extra frost crystal, I believe. Make it work in my favor. John Hall says, since it is 3 frost crystals short, harvest the frost wort first, so you can grab 3 more after 15 minutes. There you go. Sandiran says, speaking of movies, am I the only one who's more excited for How to Train Your Dragon 3 than Avengers? Maybe. Probably. I don't know. I've never seen any of those. But, you know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with animated movies, right? They're probably cool. Johnny B says, the only hate I've seen is from the Never Forget crowd. They're locked. I know, it makes me worry about some people, dude, because they're like, that $50 I spent 2 years ago, I want my money back. But like, they're the same people that put like 150 hours into the game, and then they're like, oh, I want a refund. It's like, shut up, man. How many shitty games have you bought? You know what I mean? How about EA, instead of apologizing for like their loot boxes at E3, they just said, well, we're giving money to charity. Okay, lots of companies give money to charity. You know, I'm with Bicycle Walrus on that one. There's so many shit developers out there. You spent $60 on an impossibly huge game that gets constantly updated on a nearly regular schedule. So fuck you. You know what I mean? It's like in a lot of, then, you know, the hate that you used to see the most was the people that were like, you don't see it so much anymore, but it was the people that like, yeah, man, I bought the game at release and it sucked. And it's like, okay, so almost 2 years later, you're still saying it sucks, but you haven't played it recently. So your opinion is really not that valid. Like, it's not even the same game. There's people that play the 1.0 version just to reminisce about the game that came out. That's how fucking different the game is now. So yeah, Johnny B, man, I'm with you. That crowd just makes me sick. And then you have the crowd that can't think for themselves, the follow crowd, where they're just sort of like, you know, if somebody else says it's good, then I'll think it's good and I'll check it out. And you have those guys. Alright. Sell some acid. Boom. Alright, we're going to sell some... Nah, I'll hang on to that polyfiber for where I'm going next. No pun intended. Losing 9% on this transaction, man. That ain't cool. Alright. Now, what was I going to do? There was something else I saw. Ah, yes. This space station has a ton of thamium, which I always need. And there we go. Pretty cool little guy right there. All of gold. Call that one the Trinidad James. The Division crowd were the same. Yeah, and you know, some people, it's like no matter how hard the developer tries to fix the game in the eyes of the you know, the sheep, it's never good enough. it's like they're mad that the company, you know, gave them some, you know, didn't give them what they thought they were getting, and then when the company turns around, fixes it, and tries to give it to them, they don't want it now. A principle, I guess. I've never been that hard-headed. I'd rather tap dance across fucking bear traps than be that hard-headed. I'd rather put a smile on my face, boot and clap the cork off of wine bottles, because that's how excited I am for next. Cry about, you know, it wasn't the game came out that like some of the features I thought were going to be there weren't. I mean, maybe a little, you know. But I always said in the back of my head, like, they're going to update it. And I'm sure that it just, they couldn't get to it. They needed to release the game. They had a deadline, you know, whatever. I'm sure it'll happen. You know, I never lost faith that they would do it, you know. I'm proud of Hello Games. I'm so happy for them right now. You know, Sean Murray, the Titanic sunk, and he resurrected it. You know, it's a beautiful thing, to the point where, like, they could probably make a documentary about this story. Just the story behind this thing is amazing, you know. Yeah, John Hall, that was one of my favorite parts too. Just seeing that like ringed planet with the shadow cast against the rings on the you know, seeing its silhouette, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was awesome. And then how the freighters looked warping in with their little landing pads on the side, I thought was pretty neat. Dude, Panda, that is a sexy looking hauler, bub. Yeah, dude, thanks to Amino Hub on this one. Somebody from Amino Hub found this guy. I love the curved up wings with the jet engines on it, and then it's got the fans. I just pretend like it's vertical takeoff and stabilizing. But yeah, it's a sweet ship. I really do like it. All right, let's go to your portal code. I think you put it in the chat, didn't you? Let's find it. Oh, I do want to go back to a comment that was up at the further back from Jacob Green Day Heart 1, who says, but he sure as hell made a great game. He did, man. He did. Alright, so Eclipse, Bird, Diplo. I always thought that was like a jellyfish until Lily Hop of the NMS Cafe called it a sunset. And then when I really looked at it, it is totally a fucking sunset. Excuse my language. And I always called it a jellyfish. You learn something new every day. A lot of sunsets in this one. Those are my favorite hauler wings. I have two like it. One is red S-Class named Rex in memory of Mass Effect that has an offset cockpit. Pretty cool. Oh, dude, I have a red one too. But I call it the dragon, the red dragon or something like that. No. I already did it. Okay. That's what I get for not paying attention. Fuck. I'll be able to type it in a lot quicker though. Just gotta find it. Where was that? Alright. Eclipse. Bird. Diplo. sunset, eclipse, sunset, sunset, spider, sunset, sunset, sunset. Alright. Panda, don't be an idiot. See, what happened was I got impatient from that like loading animation to go away, and I kept tapping buttons like that does anything, and I just ended up interacting with the thing again. Plo617 says, I hope we get actual stars at the center of their systems and not just another skybox. Alright. I'm gonna keep it real, Plo. I don't get that impression, unfortunately. From just what I saw today, I don't see it. The system, the star system looked very much like it always does. So that's not to say that we'll never get it. It just may not be right now. Oh, I love the colors on this planet, bro. Oh man, this is cool. What? There's like an actual like little forest here. Dude, this planet is seriously cool. I was hoping that because in the star map they put the star at the center with it shows planetary and lunar orbits. Yo, this is a gangster planet. I'm speechless right now. Oh my gosh. But I was hoping that in the next update that we would see that, but after seeing sort of how similar space looked, other than the ring planet, like just sort of seeing the setup of it, like it didn't appear to me like you had to bypass the sun to get anywhere else. I didn't get that feeling. So. Oh yeah, I need to slap an exocraft down. Do I have a dynamic resonator? I don't think I do. Alright, that's okay. I can cover great distances with the jetpack theta. It is a dope planet, right? Storms aren't too bad, only 217 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. This system is literally at the edge of where stars stop before you get to Euclid's core. Dude, just the, like... Oh, from up here doesn't even do it justice. That was, like, the most dense placement of trees I've seen in a long time. Oh, that's cool. Just that, like, lonesome tree right there. This is a very impressive planet. I haven't seen one this cool in a long time. And for some reason, the purples and oranges like look really good together. This is gonna make me sound like a lame ass, but it kind of reminds me of that Purple Pills video, the D12 and Eminem video. It's like that color palette. Blue and yellow, purple pills. What? La Chupacabra. What's up, Gaming Line? About to go check out a viewer's farm. So this is John Hall's farm on this amazing planet. Dude, when you're up, this is one of the few times where your elevation on a planet makes it look worse. Because normally planets can be really pretty from up high, but this one is much better viewed from down below. There's no doubt about that. Johnny B says, one of the things confirmed early on was improved trading. I'm anxious to see what that's about. You know, there's one thing in my book that will improve trading more than anything else that they can do. And I don't think that they'll do it. If they do, I'll be very happy. But I want to see the interaction between players increase. I want more of a player-driven game in terms of, they kind of hint to it in the description on GameStop's website and stuff, like everything that you do matters and people see the impact of your decisions, you know, somewhere else in the galaxy potentially and stuff like that. I get all that. But my thing is I want, for example, player-based trading, meaning me and Johnny B can trade together. If Johnny B needs like 15 warp cells and I have the resources to build them, and he doesn't, you know, but he needs to get the hell out of this system, he can just buy them from me, right? Or maybe I'm a nice guy, I'm a No Man's Sky billionaire, and I just want to drop it for him, just to give him a helping hand, right? And I can just drop my loot, right? Who cares? Another thing I'd like to see is like real estate. I know that's kind of a funny one, and probably no one's going to agree with me on this one, but I've seen a lot of really cool farms out there and a lot of really cool bases, and some people, like, they legitimately enjoy like building them. Like, it's sort of therapeutic and soothing to just create something in the game. Now, what if those players can then just sell that property to another player? So, like, let's say Sword or John Hall, right, makes a wicked farm, okay, and you want to buy it. And John Hall, this farm makes you 20 million units an hour, okay, at the base level. If you've got complex blueprints, you're making 80 million an hour or whatever, 100 million or whatever, right? And you know, let's say that you want to buy it. This is going to be a good investment for you. Okay, you should be able to throw Sword, let's say 250 million units for that resource farm, and then now it's yours, right? And you could, or something, you know. I want to see the interaction between the players be more of a focus than with the environment. But PvE is cool too, you know. But I want to see that be encouraged. Having to work together, having to communicate with other players, having to plan, coordinate, even attack other players. Just whatever brings people together, right, to the table. Hey, you guys want to see the weakest S-Class multi-tool stats in all of No Man's Sky history? This was just a regular, like, this was a C-Class multi-tool coming out of Pathfinder. And then whenever Atlas Rises hit, it all of a sudden was an S-Class max slot. Like, inexplicably, for like no damn reason. But look at those weak-ass upgrades. It's like the lowest upgrades on an assault rifle style multi-tool I've seen yet. "3D says, I'm a painter, so first thing I instinctively see is the color palette." Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Gaming Live, do you think the sun is going to become a physical object in the world now? I don't think so. I have zero confidence it will be. In the trailer that I saw, I didn't get the sensation that it would. But they did say that they've, you know, if you go to it's on their website now for sure. So if you go to nomansky.com and you look at the sort of like early on, you know, brief sort of feature list that they've put out there, they talked about enhancing and changing space in No Man's Sky, so maybe they did that. It didn't look like I expected it or was hoping that it would look like when I saw it. So, but that's okay, you know. The game looks friggin' different. Like Sean Murray in an Inside Xbox interview said it was a different experience. He undersold that. It's not even the same game at this point, you know. So I'm okay with that. If I've got to wait another 4 months to get stars at the core, you know, with planets that rotate around them and shit, like, that's cool. I'm down, you know. What's 4 months when I've been playing for 2 years? John Hall, I'm the same way, man. I'm not a billionaire, but like anything I can do to like help players, whether it's build a farm, or whether it's create a database of really good farm locations that they can go visit, or whatever. And I think that that's really going to get a chance to shine and come out when Next drops, because we'll get to build things that we can leave behind for other players. Big things, potentially big farms that have extremely high yields and things like that. But with those enhancements to the economy, things might become drastically more expensive. So you guys, if you want to go back depending on how this farm is, right? Oh, little turtle guy. If you guys want to go back in the live stream and take down the portal address to here, come to this farm, dude, and get enough money. Doesn't matter what the class is. Get the units to buy the freighter. Who cares if it's a C class with 8 slots? You don't know what that's going to translate to in the next update. Like, you don't know if in the next update you'll be able to expand, inventory slots on ships. Or you don't know if you can upgrade something from a C class to an S class or an A class. I mean, we don't know. But what I do know is that it's better to have a freighter than not have a freighter. Because if you have a freighter, you can take your farm on the go. Any system that you go to, you can put a farm on your freighter. You can carry 6 ships in your freighter, Plus, if you guys remember, on a live stream, I talked about how I thought that the co-op, when Next was first talked about, and information came out about 4-person co-op, and I talked about, I had been speculating for a long time that you can have 6 ships in your freighter, but there's 3 open slots, and after you get your 6th ships stop coming in. They stop arriving, right? So, for me, it's like, I always kind of felt like that made sense, because there's you and then 3 other players, and you have exactly that amount of slots in every freighter. So you can have 6 ships in a freighter, and then you've got 3 additional slots. And there's your 4-player co-op. And you can invite them in this update. It said that you can invite them to your freighter to help you with multiplayer missions and stuff. So, it's fucking awesome. The whole thing's so exciting. You know what would have been funny in the trailer? If in the distance you just see a player crashing down into another player and kill him. That would be funny. Yes, like just in the background. Like, yeah, dude. Oh, we got Ryder S in the chat. Ryder says, oh my god, how about that trailer? And hey, Panda, what's going on, Ryder? Dude. the trailer. Somebody said they've watched it like 20 times. Dude, I've watched it way more than that. Like, I even watched the entire thing in slow sherbet boards at the core. Nice. Nice. I even watched the whole thing at like a fourth of the speed or whatever, so that I can see how they do those quick cuts, so that I can see those quick cuts, dude. I was like so into it. All right. So what do we got? What do we got here? John Hall says, Panda speaks the truth. My first freighter was a shitty C-class 15 slot I bought for 80 mil, but having what a freighter offers shot me exponentially into the next realm. I got my money back. It got me back exploring. Yeah, dude. My first freighter, bro, John, it cost me 7 million units. It was right when Foundations hit. That's it. I made that like scanning shit. Like and uploading it. Like 7 million units was my first freighter. Then Foundation hit, or Pathfinder hit. My next one was 18 million. Okay? And then that 18 million unit freighter, when Atlas Rises hit and they fixed the pricing, because there was like an issue with the prices being really low on freighters. that 18 million unit freighter that I bought ended up being worth 187 million for a trade-in. Then I got my A-class freighter and paid like 230 million for it or something like that for a 33 slot A-class, and then now I'm hunting down an S-class. So I have spent less on all three of my freighters since Foundation than some people have on just one freighter. like so I'm telling you, like you gotta get out there and get one. You know, you can cop a decent freighter for 100 something million units, and you can make that in no time at this farm. This farm's gonna make you $20 million in just circuit boards, and if you got the recipe for quantum processors, those are 5 million a piece. Circuit boards are 1.5 million a piece. If you're doing freighter fuel or fusion igniter, that's like 18 million units a piece. I mean, you can get that billion in no time. Like, you just got to like hustle. You know, you just got to grind it out a bit. The grindy part of it sucks, but you know what doesn't suck? Having hundreds of millions of units and buying freighters in any exotic ship you want. You know, that doesn't suck. Yeah, that is playing with my stigmatism right now. Oh snap, we got Ivy Mike in the chat. Ivy Mike says, I'm so friggin' hype right now. I've been stuck at work all day. You need to get out of here. Yeah, dude. You've seen the trailer though, right? I'm sure you've seen it on your phone or something on your break. So crazy, dude. Ivy, what are you most excited about, man? What's your big takeaway? What are you most excited to see? Based on what we know, let's leave speculation out of the picture. I know that and that is is an oxymoron, but let's leave speculation out of the picture, and based on what we know for sure that's been confirmed with this trailer and everything, what is the feature that most stood out to you that you're excited to see? John Hall, this planet, seriously, this is a superb planet. I'm probably going to hang out here a bit after the stream, and I'm going to record a video here, and I'm going to feature it on my channel. I love this planet. I like this farm. It's well done. It's wicked. Just everything about it. That is, if you're cool with that, and I don't want to make assumptions. What if there's a secret skin in No Man's Sky where it's just Jesus, Sean Murray? That would be friggin' awesome. 3D says, I downgraded my freighter for better design. Give us ship design customization, Hella Games. I agree, but partially, right? The ship design is procedural, so sometimes they're really cool, and then sometimes like they're lame. If they add more parts, I'd like to see like kind of really crazy designs. But I get what you mean. I've had to step, like, I had a freighter, and I hated the color so bad that I stepped down to a worse freighter just to change the color and then swap up again. I've done that before. John Hall says, okay, so this farm has 80 solar vines, 160 star brambles, 40 cactus, and 37 frostwork. That's sick, dude. Ivy Mike says, I have shown it to all my employees and they all hate me at this point. I cannot wait for hanging on the bridge of my freighter drinking grog rob with my buds. Dude, yeah, I love the mission system in the freighter, how you can essentially invite people from the console, because it talks about this on the website. invite people from the console into your four person co-op lobby, like that's awesome. I also saw landing pads. Like if you watch the trailer again in slow motion, the scene at the end where the traveler's walking down the hallway inside the freighter, there's a Gek looking out the window. It shows a landing pad on the outside of the ship with two ships parked there. That means that you can land on the landing pad outside the ship, and when you leave your cockpit, you are in space. Like, if you're not picking up satellite TV on your nips right now, then I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. I'm just saying. Social Geographic, what's going on, man? Welcome to Hidden Panda Show. Thanks for jumping in the chat. They say, I want to start fresh, save for next, but I don't want to lose my 50 million. Well, you can start multiple saves, so you can have I think 3 or 4 normal mode saves. So you can absolutely do that, my friend. All right. Rainbow Sherbert, dude, even the name is the name just is perfect. It perfectly describes this planet, basically. I love this thing. Oh, looks like we got a visitor. Hey, what's up, dude? Don't walk on these biodomes, cuh. get pistol whipped. Oh, shit. I don't like the way these star brambles look from this view. That looks a little strange. I don't know why. Alright. Now I need cactus flesh and make that polyfiber. There we go. I should have did that first so that I wasn't burning to death. Also has a trade terminal in the main base. This is an affluent system too, but sell your stuff later. There are better profits in other wealthy systems. Yeah, I mean, if it's just within 10% of loss, I don't care. It doesn't really hurt the bottom line that bad. But yeah, I mean, there's some systems where you're about to make some serious cash, Ryder says, for me, what stood out was walking with the Sentinels. Yeah, that fucking, excuse my language, but that scene just looked really, really cool. It really did. That got me pretty hyped because I remember and I think they kind of did this on purpose, but I remember the pre-release footage where the Sentinels were just freely walking around, and he was kind of walking among them in first-person mode, and I thought that was kind of cool. And then there was the scene where he was on an ice planet running next to the Sentinel quadrupeds, but it was in first person. So then to see that scene graduate to third-person view with 3 Sentinel walkers and 2 quadrupeds, that was nuts. The plant? Oh, it's because you're used to seeing it with HDR on, and when you turn the HDR off, the colors get super saturated and bright because of the 4K.
What's that? And then on the actual thing itself, what's on the station?
Oh, it's got sort of cell shading kind of lines. Yeah, some stuff has that.
It threw me off at first.
Yeah, I thought you were trying to figure out how to say Econo Cactus. Because I got it wrong for a year. I kept calling it a kiddo something or other. But, dude, I wish it was daytime right now so you can see this planet. I'm talking to my brother, by the way, if that confuses you guys.
Yeah, it's just so clean with fucking nice
Oh, dude, you saw the trailer, right? I mean, you were,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
dude,
looks
that looks so sick.
yeah.
Guys, my brother's an Xbox One X owner. He's a big Xbox guy, um, and he's willing to give No Man's Sky a try when that bad boy comes out. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what he thinks about it. Ivy Mike says, I would not start fresh till we see how they handle existing saves. Good point. Very good point. Ivy Mike, I was talking about this earlier. I think it was before you jumped in the chat, but on Reddit they asked for people's save files, and I submitted like right away. So I don't. That doesn't necessarily mean that they played my save, but they were asking for people's save files so that they can make sure that they essentially take your save, load it into the game, and then they add the next update to it, like all the next features. So they bring your save into next to make sure that it doesn't break your game, because with Atlas Rises it broke people's games. They had to restart. People like lost their what do you call it? Their bases and had to like restart and stuff like that. So I think that they're like sort of like learning from that lesson. And yeah. All right. So I guess what I'm saying is I feel like everybody's save file, for the most part, is probably going to be safe with this update compared to the last one. Got Infinite Gamer back in the chat. Says, hey, how's that? Hey everybody, how's your day? Pretty good. Just over here chilling. You know, just having a chill sesh. Nothing too serious. Just doing some farming on this beautiful planet, might I add. I'm trying to get into the 300 million unit range Infinite, because I'm going to try to hunt me down an S-Class freighter. And I just want to make sure that after I buy it, I've got a little bit of money left over, so I'm not totally dead broke in the game. Johnny B says, I think the Walker scene was the coolest also. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I have to say, my favorite part, though, really, was, because I think of, like, weird things, and I was wondering, like, okay, if we have third-person mode, how do you get in and out of your ship? Like, all the ships are procedurally generated. Some of the ships are tall, some of the ships are short. Like how are they going to animate you getting in and out? I was actually really curious about that. So when it started off, you're in the water swimming, and then he comes up on the land, and then they walk over to where they're sort of building that thing. You see the ships and all that, and he doesn't go in right away. And then he starts walking up the hill, and you see the guy kind of jetpack off to the side, which looked pretty cool. And when he comes around the bend on the top of the hill there, you see like a terminus just sort of freestanding on the ground, or whatever. It was like you can just slap a terminus wherever you want now. It's like a tool. It's like a that you can just craft it, which seemed really awesome. But he walks up to the ship, and then basically he like does something, and he scans. It's like he teleports into the ship. And I just thought that was a funny way of doing it. I thought that was kind of cool. It's one of my favorite things because it's clever. It's like, okay, how are we going to make that work? We'll just have the guy teleport into the ship. Because then it doesn't seem cheap. Nothing these guys do besides the warp screen seems cheap, right? It's like they could have, the orbs, they made it part of the story. They didn't have to. They just did, so that it didn't seem so cheap. So I love stuff like that. John Hall says you can walk around HUDless in Creative 2 for literally hours. Yeah, dude. This planet's friggin' sick. Gaming Lime, yeah, people keep mentioning the lack of animals in the trailer. There's a common theme, and it's either because they haven't fleshed that out yet, or I think that there's going to be a big surprise with the animals. I think that the way that animals will be handled in the game is going to be really different, and I think it's going to be cool. So... I hope we can hire them to guard a base. Exactly, dude. That'd be awesome. Mr. Grape, what's going on, dude? Welcome back to the chat. Sanderin says he teleports into his ship, Panda. I know. I thought that was pretty cool. But the animation of how it happened, his body, like it was from the top down, and then he was inside the ship. I just thought that was a really cool way of doing it. Because I'm like, okay, well, the fighters I can understand because the cockpits pop open and he can crawl inside, but then there's certain exotics, and then you have squid ships, which are really tall, and then it's like, so how are they getting in the cockpit? Oh, easy. Scotty, beam me into that. And that's what happens. He gets beamed, literally like Star Trek beamed into the starship. And I was just like, oh, I had like literally like a nerdgasm. I don't know, the whole thing was just fucking cool. Actually, I take it back. My favorite thing about the trailer was all the tweets from Sean Murray leading up to it. That was my favorite thing, man. I kind of mentioned that a little bit earlier, but literally that was my favorite thing about today, just hearing from Sean Murray, seeing him happy, hearing him be excited, sharing his thoughts, tweeting, having fun, cracking jokes. I miss that. We kind of had a taste of that personality, you know, pre-release, and it was good. It was good to see that, you know, fully represented. By the way, John Hall, the only reason I didn't do the Frostwort first is because I already had Frostwort. So it didn't matter. I didn't need to do it first. I'm gonna have extra at the end of it anyway. I'll probably just make some glass to like dump it all. Scribble Wizard in the chat. Animal farms? That would be cool. That would be sick. Like, are you kidding? Like, being able to have, like, livestock? Or a mount? I bet mounts would be cool. Watch there be mounts. If there's mounts, I swear to God, I'll shit my britches. That'd be so neat. I never really thought about it till somebody in the chat brought that up one day, and then I just think about it all the time now. Johnny B says, I have that same exact hauler. I ripped out all of the tech to open up more slots. Never drive it far enough to get into trouble. Exactly, dude. And I don't even care that they're not S-classes. I have two 48-slot haulers, and really, they're just suitcases to me for my circuit boards and shit. That's really all they're for at this point. So, what do you guys? Obviously, we get to customize our exosuits. What do you guys plan on doing with your exosuits? Like, I think I'm gonna take on the white and black color palette just so that it's obvious that it's me. You know what I mean? Like, just embrace the panda. Best thing about this trailer is that it's only a week away. Sanherin could not have said it better myself. Very good point that you raised, kind sir. Or man. I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to assume. I don't want to assume. That's why I say they. Because I never know. I've made that mistake in the chat a few times. Or people, or like I'll call people man or dude, but that's just because like I'm kind of bro, and people will take it out of context. And then like I've gotten messages from people where they're like, I think I should mention that I'm a female, and I'm like, still gonna call you dude, or man. That is still gonna happen. All right, let's whip up these circuit boards. Now I see what you mean about the getting the frost crystal first. You didn't plant as much of it, and it grows every 15 minutes, so I really should have went at that one first. Now I feel the burn. Bacteria scans. Eventually we can get into procedural generation, bacterial engineering. Yeah, dude, that sounds cool. I'd love to breed animals and sell them. Bro, like animal husbandry, like that's fucking tight. I mean, you can already farm crops, so like why not livestock, right? That's just like, you know, that'd be pretty cool too. I mean, I don't think so, but it would be neat. 3D says, I've had my ships through 3 previous updates. No change to my ships or slot size, but I can't build tech because I don't have slots. Sandiran says, I don't think many officials would like that. 3D Destroyer says, architecture, zoology, they could expand on this game for years. Yeah, you know, well, before the game came out, Sean Murray said that not everything is possible in No Man's Sky, but lots of things are possible in No Man's Sky. And then he had a feeling if the community would let him, that he would be working on this game for a long time. And I think that he will do that. Sandiran says, dude is a universal term used for everyone. I agree. I think it's a safe bet. If you can't identify gender from someone's name or something like that, just say dude. What's up, dude? And you can never go wrong. And no one gets mad when they get called a dude. Alright. Had to take a sip of my tea. Alright, well, let's make however many boards I can make then. And I'm going to start heading back to the portal. Try to get some more. I mean, I could probably... I mean, at this point, Sword's base is probably almost fully grown back. I'm going to, like, bookmark these 2 locations and then just literally between John Hall's base and Sword's base, I'll get that billion in no time. I mean, that's 20 million an hour, dude. You know? I thought, easily in a day, or even every 2 days if you're just playing a couple hours a day, every day. I mean, I'll hit a billion before next hits. You know what I'm saying? Over, more than a billion. I've been in that billionaire club like 10 times over. I just spend it too fast. I never stay at a billion units. I always get rid of it like right away. On a ship or a freighter or something. Depending on how easy it is to change exosuit colors, I might rock whatever color the environment is for camo. Yeah. Well, see, like on Elite Dangerous, like my player model on Elite Dangerous is just in a white suit. Because, I mean, I wasn't born in the 70s or anything like that, but I was just fascinated by the NASA era, like moon landing culture, you know, like the space exploration and the sci-fi books from back in the day and all of that kind of thing. And like, I like the idea of just like a puffy white spacesuit. Just that whole astronaut vibe. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go full on, you know, black and white, because it kind of taps into both, and it's very Panda themed. Now, if we can put like, whoa, that thing is cool. See, what if that one have a big head like that one? Wouldn't want to kiss you, mate. This one with a shell. Dude, sometimes, oh, it scratched itself. Holy cow. This game never gets old to me. There was one time I was streaming where I saw these squiggly plants that were moving. They were like tentacles growing out of the ground, and they were just squiggling. I've never seen that before. And it like, I stopped. Like, I stopped right away. Like, interrupted the stream, like, went totally fucking crazy. Freaked out over that thing. Also, there was a moment where there was a what do you call it? It was a toxic planet, but it had like blue oceans. It was like a really calm looking planet with blue oceans, but it was toxic, and it had like islands and continents and like proper oceans, and it was blue water. And I personally, because everybody's experience in the game is different depending on how you explore, and I personally have just never seen that combo before, and it just kind of took me by surprise. And I love that can still happen, you know, 2 years after release. I mean, Jesus, you know. I'm 19, kind of on the bridge, really. Yep. I might change it up on the fly, planet by planet. There you go. Scribble Wizard says no helmets were off in the trailer except that Gek, but it would be nice to be able to take your helmet off in temporal environments. You know, that's not to say that we can't do that, but I don't think we'll be able to. I think that, you know, having sort of a head and then being able to change your skin color and your hair and all that, it is probably too much right now. If we get that option, great. I don't see it happening. I would love it. I just don't see it happening. If we get that option, though, that would be really fantastic, I think. Because I'd want my player to look a little bit like me and have like a good thick beard, brown skin. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It would just be cool just thinking about it like that. But just getting, like, even if we weren't able to edit our player, like I was expecting not even being able to edit the player model. I thought they would just give us like a universal sort of character model. Maybe we get to pick a color, you know, and like that's it. So when the ARG started showing all these different dreamers with different helmets and their exosuits were all set up a bit different and all that kind of stuff, I was so excited to see that. I don't know, man. Like I already feel that, like, just in the character customization alone, they could have just given us player models and we just changed one solid color about our player model and I would have been happy, you know. But then we can get different helmets, we can get different color suits with different sorts of like armor padding and like things like that. Like, you know, they always just take it a step further. I say dude to my wife too. It's gender neutral for sure. Exactly, dude. Good thing this place is so rad you never mind waiting around or exploring for a while the frost crystal grows. Yeah, exactly. 3D says, Sean Murray, Holy Ghost, it just hit me. If base building is unlimited, I'm having a building or freighter dedicated to vaults. So I kind of read it earlier out loud over the live stream. When they say unlimited base building, you have to be careful how you interpret that. I think that they're using unlimited in the sense that it doesn't matter how many you build. You know, they're there for everyone to see. You can own multiple bases, come back, visit them, even if you've left one or whatever. Like you can build a base, leave, go to another planet, build a base, and you can still go back and see them. Right now, you can't do that. If you build a base, go to a different system and build another, you lose your original base. Other players will be able to see them, but not you, right? So I think that's what it means, is that you can keep building and setting up and colonizing and going and going, and everything gets left behind, and it's still, you know, you're still the creator. I think that's what they mean by unlimited, because they've greatly increased, in their words, the base building limit, but also the unlimited part kicks in because it doesn't matter where you put your base. If you wanted to start your base in here, you could. You just flatten out part of the terrain with your terrain manipulator and then just put a pod there, and then you can start building your base, right? I mean, if you wanted to slap it up right here, you can. So I think that's what they mean by unlimited. But he also, in that interview, talked about like advanced colonies and building with other players. So I'm curious to know, by greatly increasing the base build limit and adding hundreds of new base building parts, like, how advanced can these things get? Like, I have a feeling that we can literally make little small neighborhoods, like little communities. You know what I mean? Like embassies and like meetup points and stuff like that. You know, which if you live in a hub, an embassy might be a good idea. You know? Not gonna make it. Gonna break my legs. Whew. Close call. I normally don't ask for people to do this, but if you guys are new to the channel, you know, make sure you click that subscription button down there. Make sure you hit the bell as well, so you're notified when I go live. I don't do just live streams. From time to time, I do create like discussion topic videos, and I do like base tours. I'll cover like points of interest that I think are really cool, and I'll do like flyby tours and no HUD walkthroughs and stuff like that. And I also do like discussion topics and things like that. So there's a lot of different things I do here on the channel, and if you're new, make sure you hit the subscription button. Also, for everybody that's watching currently, definitely take a moment to hit that like button. You can thumb up, thumb down, doesn't matter, I don't care. Just hit one of them. Roll the dice, flip a coin. What's up, bud? Okay, fine. The first underwater buildings may have been some sort of outpost. The second scene was definitely a base. Right, and the second scene, you barely see it. You barely see it. But I know that was a base, because it had the curved wall window and things like that you can put on bases now that you don't see on any other buildings. So no one's going to convince me that wasn't a base. That was definitely a base. And I was, there was a time where I was thinking about buying Subnautica, and I saw people swimming underwater. But if we get some sort of underwater craft and we can build bases underwater, there'll be no need for me to buy Subnautica. Well, I might anyway. It's still an interesting game. It's like an oceanic No Man's Sky. We'll see. Maybe our tech will reflect in our suits. Dude, I've talked about that before. I can't believe you just said that. Like, I just got so hyped just now. I'm sorry. Got freaked out. Like, yes, that is awesome. I've talked about that so many times. Also on ships, too. It already happens with our exocraft, where when you add tech to the exocraft, it pops up on the outside of the exocraft. I want to see that on my suit, and I also want to see that on my ships. Like, if I add a special weapon, rocket launchers, or like, a phase beam, theta or something to my ship, I want to see the physical manifestation of that creation. You know what I'm saying? On my ship. It might be too much to ask for in Next right now. It's definitely something that once they see how the update goes, once they're able to sort of, check performance and deal with crash reports and optimizations and things, it's something that maybe they can do like in later patches. But yeah, I would love to see that. If it's not available right off the bat, that's okay. But I would love to see that for sure. Yes, underground bases, give it to me. Exactly, dude. I think it means the complexity has been burdened on the servers and that Hello Games has optimized what the local processors do and what the servers do. Yeah, potentially. I think that Hello Games has made optimization perfect between the servers and local console and PC. I don't see how the synchronization for full-fledged multiplayer will be done with a procedural game. Yeah, I wish I knew more about how that kind of stuff works. I don't. But I've been very curious about that myself. Like, you know what I mean? Like how would that work, you know? Because I see this game starting to eventually take on become an MMO. And that might seem like a stretch, but I honestly see this game evolving into an MMO in time. Not with the next update. I think it's a hard 4. You know, I think it's get 4 people with you. That's it. I'm okay with that. I think it's going to be a hard 4, but in 6 months' time, in a year's time, there's no telling what they're going to do. With the revenue that they're going to earn off 10-cent Wii game, with the revenue that they're going to earn off the Xbox One launch, and stuff like that, they might start working on other games too, which is really exciting. I want to see what else Hello Games can do, right? Like, I want to see that too. But I'm sure they're going to dedicate a portion of time to ongoing No Man's Sky stuff. And the sky's the limit. And we don't know how technology with servers will change and things like that over time. And, you know, and who says that this game has to stay on PlayStation 4? I mean, there might be an updated version of this that carries over into the, you know, whatever the next iteration of the PlayStation is. So, it'll certainly be interesting. I love systems that have dark space. I also love haulers where the floor is like sort of see-through. I don't know why. And it doesn't have the roof. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite cockpits. That and the X-Wing style fighter cockpits. I'm going to catch up on the chat, and then I'll probably end up calling it here, guys. So, you know, if there's anything you guys want to throw in the chat, make sure you go ahead and throw it in now, because I'm going to be bringing the stream to a close here. .3D says, I haven't seen Kendall on in a while. Anybody know how he's been? If you're talking about Kendall Southwick, last time I saw Kendall was on Twitch. I think they made the move over to Twitch, but I could be wrong. Maybe they've just taken a break from streaming for a bit. I'm not sure. John Hall says, take the drawing distance. I guarantee you it isn't pre-rendered. This is all procedural, and everything is generated at a certain detail relative to the player's position in the game. Yeah, but that being said, I think that things that are near you have been better optimized. I think that they've added probably certain atmospheric effects like fog, and you know that there's a lot of tricks that they're probably going to pull to give you better like for example, if you play Horizon Zero Dawn. If you play, I think Just Cause 3 even used this technology. Ghost Recon Wildlands, all of those games have procedural generation aspects to them that are all related to the player's proximity to a certain area of the map, right? And all of those games look very high fidelity, but they have a lot of pre-baked assets. They're not completely procedural like No Man's Sky, so it's probably trickier for No Man's Sky, right? But I think that they're finding clever ways of increasing the fidelity of the graphics and the draw distance and the load times and the rendering and all that through optimization and other things without necessarily it having to be hard on the console. Because I've noticed that no other game makes my PS4 Pro scream as loud as No Man's Sky. And then when you roll up on a base build and the game starts freaking out and glitching and stuff like that, I think that there just needs to be better optimization, and I think they found that in Next. So I definitely agree with what you said there, John. 3D says, Panda, imagine being pissed off if we get submarines before ship design customization. Oh, I wouldn't. No. You know, if we got, I'd be happy with either or. I don't think we're getting submarines. I just don't think the oceans are deep enough in No Man's Sky, and I don't see them really putting an emphasis on that right now. So it's probably not likely that we get submarines, although it's a nice thought. I would like to see a better way of navigating underwater. John Hall says, basically Hello Games engine has to generate every pixel you see without the pixels themselves knowing anything about their neighbors. This is why erosion in caves are so impressive. Yeah, I've tried to like read and like watch videos about how this works, and Sean Murray is a genius. That a lot of games use procedural generation. A lot of them do, but not as extensively and to the degree that No Man's Sky does. The entire thing, for the most part, is procedural. It's insanity that it runs as well as it does and looks as good as it does, even from my extremely just basic, understanding of it. Social Geographic says, I wish all space was black. Me too, dude. The different colors in space is cool, don't get me wrong, but when space is dark like that, when it's black, the planets really pop. I don't mind seeing colored, for example, if it's like a brush of it in a certain area that you're in, right? Almost like a gas cloud or something, where the light hits it a certain way and it has sort of like a pink or green hue or something like that. But I don't like when the entire region is stained with a certain color. It doesn't look bad. It's just that I like when the background is black because of the way that the planets look against that. Like even in this system, for example, it's not black. Okay, it's just a really dark sort of like blue. But look at the planet against that background compared to if this system was like orange, right? Look at the atmosphere. Look at the where the sun hits the edge of the atmosphere there, and you get this really cool color gradient. You get greens and blues and whites against a very dark background. There's something really satisfying about that color palette. So yeah, I'm right there with Social Geographic. I think it would actually enhance the visual aesthetic of the game. John Hall says, love Horizon. It was the most fun platinum to acquire of any game I've played. I haven't beat it, but I put extensive time into it. I'm currently playing, when I'm not playing No Man's Sky, I'm actually playing the Uncharted game where you're playing as Fraser and the other girls. They go along this journey, and that game's actually really well done and very beautiful. I love those. There's an art to making a story-driven single-player game, and I'm glad to see that they haven't lost the focus of that experience over defaulting to multiplayer, because that seems to be what's in right now. But God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted 4, this other Uncharted game, Last of Us, like these story-driven single-player experiences are awesome. It seems to be that the older, more mature crowd, the 25 and up group seem to like the single-player game still, whereas most of the younger guys are into like Fortnite and stuff like that. Ryder says, I sent you the portal code for my new base. Come on by. On my next stream that I'll do probably tonight, late tonight. It'll be a late one on Twitch, Ryder. If you're up, I'll definitely stop by there. And I don't know if you're on Twitch, but if you are, follow me at Hidden Panda Show on Twitch. I got to talk to my peeps on there too. So I'm part of the I'm in the Convergence community on Twitch, and so I'm up there with I stream with Boondock and K5RTO, Melamoni, Cuz Walt is over there as well, Stretchy Cat and all those guys. It's a really and they don't just play No Man's Sky. I mean, they play a lot of other games. It's a really cool group. So just make sure you give her, if you come follow me or find me on Twitch, give everybody some love over there. Twitch has a great community, a really cool No Man's Sky community as well. All right, see you, man. Take it easy, 3D. Yeah, dude. And how crazy is this? Okay, I just kind of want to give myself a pat on the back because I started this channel with HiddenJewAgenda in August last year, a couple days, or like a week or so, really, before Atlas Rises dropped. Originally, the channel was under my personal account, and then we decided we'd band together and just do a separate YouTube account for No Man's Sky and stuff like that. And so we did that, I think like August 13th or something, and or earlier, maybe August 7th. I got to look at it. It doesn't matter. And I remember being so happy with like 11 or 12 subscribers, and like calling Hidden on the phone and being like, bro, people like subscribe to the channel, like it's crazy, right? And then now I'm at 691 of you guys subscribe to the Hidden Panda Show. So you guys have no idea how much the support means to me, like for real. I started the channel as a way for me and Hidden, because the way that we found each other was through Cobra TV. I didn't know that a community around No Man's Sky existed, because after the game launched, all I saw was just a bunch of negative stuff, but I loved the game. So I was like, I'm just going to hang out and quietly enjoy this thing by myself and not ruffle any feathers, and I don't want to look at a bunch of negative shit all day. So I just never paid any attention until I heard about the Galactic Hub in an article, and then I went on YouTube to kind of like look into it, and I came across Just Jared and Boondock, and then eventually Cobra, and I got on a subcast and met HiddenJewAgenda on a Cobra TV subcast, and we decided to start the Hidden Panda Show channel, and that's how it happened, so that we can meet other players that like No Man's Sky and were into the game. And so when we found that, that's really what this whole thing was about. And then just less than a year later, with just doing a couple live streams here and there and some discussion videos here and there and some speculation stuff, and 690 subscribers later, having sometimes 20, 30, 40 people on a live stream watching, hundreds, sometimes thousands of comments. It blows my mind, because we didn't even think it would even get to, our initial goal was 50 subscribers. I mean, we really didn't think it was going to go anywhere. So I'm so grateful to be a part of this community, for you guys to support the channel. We're not too far from, we're 10 away from 700. We're not too far away from 1,000. And, right now, that's the goal, for no other reason than just to be at 1,000. So, the channel, we don't do anything, it's not like a serious endeavor. We're not quitting day jobs over it and doing it full time, at least not now. But just the support has been unreal from you guys, man. And I don't think I say it enough. Maybe I say it too much. But I really appreciate you guys that stop by and watch the streams and interact with me on all the different community pages and stuff like that. It means a friggin' great deal. You have no idea. Yeah. I kind of want to, if I hit 1,000 subs, I want to do something special. I just don't know what. I was thinking, because we're so close to 700 and next is a week away, I was thinking of doing an Xbox One X version, or Xbox One version of No Man's Sky as a giveaway. Do like a random sort of like drawing, and as sort of like a prize for 700 subs or something. So just as as a way to kind of give back to the support I get out there from you guys. That's a huge asteroid, Jesus. No Man's Sky mobile app? No, I don't think so. China is the biggest gaming market in the world, but vast majority play on mobile. Yep. Yep. No Man's Sky and Horizon and Deus Ex or Deus Ex, however you want to pronounce it, are right up there with my faves. Deus Ex is cool. I've been playing the latest one. I haven't beat it, but I kind of dabbled and it seems pretty neat. Mass Effect is awesome. For some reason, Andromeda didn't excite me as much as I thought it was going to be. The gameplay mechanics were awesome. The graphics were awesome. It became very back and forth and sort of repetitive. And I wish that there were more planets. It's the only thing it was missing was like more places to visit, I guess. But to be fair, after playing No Man's Sky, it's like, is that going to ever really be enough in any game that doesn't have 18 quintillion planets or whatever? So, A Generic, what's up, dude? Oh, I wish you came earlier. Big shout out to A Generic in the chat. I'm actually shutting the stream down, bud. But we had a pretty good discussion about next. I don't know if you're on Twitch, A Generic, but later on, probably like late tonight, dude, I'm going to be most likely streaming on Twitch. And I'd love for you to come over there and hang out if you have a Twitch account and chat with me about what you were most excited to see on next. And actually, while you're there in the chat, tell me what your favorite thing about the trailer was today, and then I'll go ahead and shut everything down. John Hall says Andromeda suffered from story pacing for me too, and loose ends. Yeah, I mean there was so much potential in that game. Like the way that it opens, I think, is one of the best openings of a game. Right? They're going to the planet. The weather's bad. There's this anomaly. They crash. The scene of them going, the guys dropping out of the sky. You have your suit. It's like that white and blue suit. You land on the ground. Everything's alien. You're walking on this outcropping off the side of a mountain looking for survivors. Just the way that the game opened up. And the whole zero-G thing at the beginning where you're kind of floating around and stuff, before the scene I just talked about. I love that whole bit, and all of that was so good. And it shows kind of like what they're capable of in that franchise. And then once you get to the first planet, which is that desert planet, and you kind of 100% that thing, and then you get to, I think it's Varl, and you kind of start doing that. Like, after Varl, I just kind of started to, like, lose interest. I don't know. Agent Eric says, if you stream later, I'll watch. All right, dude. Awesome. It's the same thing on Twitch at Hidden Panda Show. So, sorry you caught me right at the end, Agent Eric. Guys, thank you for joining the stream. I'm going to go ahead and end it. Like I said, if we hit 700 subscribers, I'm going to do something special. So make sure you guys tell your friends about the Hidden Panda Show, especially if they're planning on getting No Man's Sky for Xbox. I'm pretty sure the channel is going to get a little bit of a boost once the Xbox players come into the fold a little bit more solidly once the next update drops. But appreciate it, guys. The buildable teleporter, yeah, that'd be awesome. Anyway, guys, as always, I'll catch you guys later on in the No Man's Sky universe. It's been real. Appreciate the company on today's stream. Panda is gonna be out.